Welcome to the presentation of our research paper, HR Analytics Conceptualization and Adoption, Key Issues. We are Vicente Fernandez and Eva Gallardo, Associate Professors and Co-Founders of the Tech Talent Lab at the UPC, Barcelona, Spain. The world is going digital. There is little doubt that digitalization or digital transformation is one of the major trends changing economy, society, and business. Digitalization is changing the way companies design, manufacture, and deliver their products and services by means of digital technologies, that is, smart mobile devices, three-dimensional printing. Indeed, companies are facing the digital imperative of adopting new technologies effectively. In this ever-increasing digitalized world, massive amounts of data are generated continuously from a growing number of sources on any topic of interest to a business. In fact, big data is considered the most significant tech disruption in business since the rise of the internet and digital economy. According to McAfee et al., big data has the potential to revolutionize management, as it has the capability of transforming the decision-making process by allowing enhanced visibility of firm operations and improved performance measurement mechanisms. Organizations that capitalize on big data are moving analytics into the core business, operational, and production functions. In short, business analytics is about leveraging value from data. In today's HR rhetoric, analytics is considered to have the potential to not only revolutionize what HR does, but also the HR impact on organizations. The adoption of HR analytics by organizations is very slow. Recent reports show that HR executives recognize that HR analytics is no longer a nice-to-have, while acknowledge skepticism of their own organization's readiness for its adoption. Unfortunately, the lack of confidence and confusion of HR executives to adopt analytics matches the disparity of HR analytics literature in its approach, definition, and results. Thus, we contribute to the literature on HR analytics by answering the following central question: what hinders the adoption of analytics in HR within organizations? Yet, to answer it, and because of the different labels used to refer to analytics applied to HR, we first had to focus on disentangling the concept of analytics applied to HR. In other words, we also addressed the following research question: what does HR analytics encompass? To answer these questions, we conducted a rigorous literature review on analytics applied to HR. We followed a sequential two-step review approach to compile a database of relevant articles for our analysis. Step 1 is about data collection and cleaning. We searched for English peer-reviewed articles on Web of Science and Scopus. We specifically use keywords such as talent analytics, HR analytics, employee analytics, human capital analytics, workforce analytics, workforce scorecard, people scorecard, and people analytics. As the aim is to analyze the barriers of analytics adoption related to HR in organizations, we opted to perform the searches only in the area of business, management, and accounting. Our final database comprised 64 full-text publications, 40 academic articles published in peer-reviewed journals, 10 conference papers, 11 articles from trade and practitioners journals, 2 editorials, and 1 teaching note, from 2010 to 2019, both years included. In the second step, called data coding, the descriptive data of each publication from the final database was imported into an Excel file. As for the content analysis, both authors developed a coding template based on the research questions. We first ran a pilot test of our coding template on a randomly selected set of 4 articles, with the aim of achieving an adequate level of inter-rater reliability. After comparing and discussing coding experiences, we stipulated a coding normative and divided the rest of the sample equally between both authors. Each researcher content analyzed their allotted articles in another Excel file. On completion, we merged the files and discussed any issues of confusion and uncertain classifications in our respective analysis. Finally, we developed a set of concept maps that helped us to depict suggested relationships between concepts and to organize ideas. Let's briefly summarize the main findings. Analytics, as applied to HR, have been labeled with several lexemes. For instance, HR analytics, people analytics, workforce analytics, talent analytics, human capital analytics, and HR big data analytics. However, the most common one in the literature is HR analytics. We can say that the field has not a single label, nor a single definition. We have only identified 20 manuscripts that gave an explicit definition of the lexeme they were using to refer to analytics as applied to HR. The majority of definitions were identified under the lexeme HR analytics, which is mostly considered as either an analysis process or a decision-making process. Either way, they rely on data, metrics, measures, and models to support strategic human capital decisions. One could say that HR analytics aim to provide relevant foundations for people-related decisions, that is, data-driven decisions, that affect the individual and organizational outcomes. The other 9 manuscripts that gave an explicit definition, regardless of the lexeme used, all of them are about collecting, analyzing, and reporting data to improve people-related decisions, and in turn, enhance individuals and organizational outcomes. Thus, HR analytics can be seen as a strategic process that relies on data and statistics models beyond HR metrics and measures. Despite we could not find too much detail on the sort of statistical analysis that should be taken into account, some authors stress the need to go beyond the usual descriptive analysis by carrying out predictive, prescriptive, and causality analysis. At this point, not only analytical and statistical skills become crucial, but also it is of the real need to draw attention to the role of the technology needed to perform this analysis. From the analysis done, we have identified 14 barriers to HR analytics adoption by organizations. We have grouped them into 4 main categories: data and models, software and technology, people, and management. The first 3 categories are linked to the resources needed to carry out an HR analytic process, whereas the 4th one refers to the actions needed to implement it. Regarding the data and model barriers, several authors emphasize the need for an HR process using HR data along with data from the rest of the functional areas of the organization and even from outside the organization. However, there is no evidence of such interdepartmental collaboration. Moreover, the lack of existing data items has been identified as one of the major barriers for succeeding in implementing analytics, above all in small and medium enterprises. In our literature review, we have not identified any exhaustive list of types of data or metrics used in HR analytics. In short, we do not have a consistent business language of HR. Likewise, all authors agree on the fact that HR analytics results depend on the quality of the raw material, which is not the expected in most of the cases. Despite some authors recently proposed different frameworks to estimate the value of data, the reality is that there is a lack of a standard for HR metrics in organizations. Finally, most of the data is used in complex models, which lack a strategic HR focus. Let's briefly discuss the main barriers regarding software and technology. Within the realm of business analytics, 3 analytics perspectives exist: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Being descriptive analytics the most well understood type and the most used by organizations. According to Rasmussen and Ulrich, if HR analytics is not able to move on from from descriptive analytics, it is in real risk of being regarded as a management fad. Some authors refer to the fact that the software for carrying out predictive and prescriptive HR analytics is designed by and targeted to people with analytical skills rather than on HR professionals. In fact, nowadays, much of work is still done manually by HR experts. Moreover, we also found that the incompatibilities between systems and consequently the problems of merging data generate barriers in the development of new HR analytics. Thus, technology and software alone are not enough. Having the right analytic capability is a must, as we are going to discuss below. There is no need to say that the requirements to perform HR analytics have changed. The lack of analytic acumen or skills among HR professionals has been documented as the second biggest obstacle to achieve better use of data, metrics, and analytics. It is not all just about statistical or computing skills. It is also needed to have chief officers with a clear business focus and to have HR people able to sell the story. Finally, under the management label, we have grouped those barriers that relate to who should develop and implement HR analytics. Whereas some authors suggest that organizations should take HR analytics out of the HR department to get a strategic business approach to it, and other authors defend that HR, not any other department, has to take the lead on HR analytics. Depending on who is in charge, its focus and value can change. Moreover, organizational culture is considered another top barrier to HR analytics adoption. Based on the findings, we can conclude that HR analytics is a set of principles and methods that address a strategic business concern and encompasses collecting, analyzing, and reporting data to improve people-related decisions. HR analytics is, by nature, strategic and should go beyond the HR department silo. Unfortunately, we are still not there. In fact, a more undeveloped version of HR analytics is usually displayed, probably due to the barriers that an organization should overcome to successfully implement proper HR analytics. We suggest 14 key factors that will help organizations in doing so. We have grouped them into 4 main categories: labeled, preparation, development, dissemination, and team. The first 3 referred to the stages of a standard project, whereas the last related to the people responsible for carrying it out. These factors provide a starting point from where define specific practices and actions that help remove or at least mitigate the barriers to HR analytics adoption. If you are still listening, thank you so much. And if you want to know more about the research, please do not hesitate to contact us.